What was that phone call with Sean like to say, hey, by the way, yeah, we got Von Miller? What was that like for you, Les?
Well, the phone call, once Sean realized it was realistic, he checked in on the hour every hour. But I do remember the first conversation I had with him.
Yeah.
He was like, I think he used the quote with our media, you're, and then you can add, you're, block, bleep, bleep, bleep me.
Yeah.
And based on that was, hey, we got a chance to get Von Miller. And, oh, by the way, how do we pay for that? Well, they're willing to do their part in helping us with that based on that sliding scale we talked about before. So once he knew I wasn't pulling some type of Halloween prank or April Fool's early prank on him, he was all in.
So then, what's the scheme? Can you what can you reveal? Like, what's the hell is this going to look like? I mean, this is crazy. But what do you envision?
Well, I think that it'll be interesting what it will look like. But what we do know is, and what we found out over the last couple of years is, obviously when you have Aaron Donald, a lot of teams are going to try to do their best to make sure he doesn't wreck the game. And a lot of times, just hey, there's 5 offensive linemen. And there's running backs and tight ends and let's call it the eligibles that can go out. So with Aaron, a lot of times teams you'll hear people say slide protect, right? They're going to slide a side of the line to Aaron. So there's often 2 and 3 hands on Aaron, and that line's kind of taking care of Aaron's side. Well, when we had Leonard Floyd on the other side, teams could maybe use a tight end or running back, even a wide receiver to chip, double team Floyd. So what it's going to do by adding this third piece is it's definitely going to stress and put pressure on how, let's call it the offensive staff plans to come up with their protection schemes on those Tuesday nights. And then it's also going to stress and pressure them, during the game, because now you're not just trying to take 2 away. You're definitely game planning for 3 instead of 2 right now.
And then, of course, everything's local, just like politics and real estate, right? And building rosters, too. You make a deal like this figuring, okay, this helps get Kyler on the ground. Russ, when his pin is removed from his finger. Lance, if that's somebody who we got to see, right? That's what this...
That's a great point. In our division, especially with Kyler and Russell, you've got to stop them from beating you passing the ball. And, oh, by the way, they got that extra pitch in there, or their extra club in their golf bag, and that's being able to escape and beat you with their legs. And having athletes, over the years we've had some success with those players when we have those type of athletes that can run east to west. And not necessarily stop them, but contain them, and obviously having Von on the other side helps that as well.
All right, Les, my kids are catching the ball in the backyard, 13, 10, and 8, so they might be available for your next first-round draft choice. I'll keep them practicing, for that eventuality,
Yeah, that's it. You know what? We hadn't gone to the ledger then, but we'll look into the future and kind of see how that looks. And but it does seem like that's a different Rams team. The Eisen kids, you know what? The next Cooper Kupp.
That's right, Cooper Eisen. It's the next Cooper Kupp. Don't forget that. It's our house, Eisen House. That's what I want them to start screaming in SoFi at some point in time. But
I bet you I have gray hair by then.
Yeah, very. You'll still have hair. I know that. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.